And let's see how we go.
Yeah.
Because that's all I know how to teach. And don't get offended, I will teach from the book that I learned from, which was the Bible. Now if you don't mind that, then you're invited to come. We'll have an awesome time. You're all invited to come. And if you know some people, in Cape Town, tell them to come. You know that by the time we finish, they will be inspired. Do you want to get your people inspired? How many of you wish you had more of your people in this room over this weekend? Oh, I tell you what, you know, Charlie's been telling everybody, get everybody here. Because you wish you had. And you wish you had, didn't you? And then I'm going to be speaking in Johannesburg in several churches, but the biggest one I think that I invite you to come to is called Family Harvest. It's in Elandisfontein. Motivating and inspiring people is going to take people skills. And one thing we learned very clearly, that the people, not products, build your business. Now, how many of you have heard of a gentleman by the name of Dale Carnegie? Anybody ever heard of Dale Carnegie? Dale Carnegie paid $1 million a year to a gentleman by the name of Schwab. Why? Because he had the ability to work with people. It's amazing that people skills are more valuable than product skills. He had the ability to work with people. Roosevelt said, success formula number one is the ability to work with people. Kurt Einstein of Success magazine in America wrote, 87% of people fail in business not for lack of talent or knowledge, but lack of personality. They cannot get along with people. Tact, kindness, consideration. Making people feel good about themselves. Let me read you some more quotes on this. It took me a long time to realize I had to master the people business. Success in any enterprise is 15% product knowledge, 85% people knowledge. The most important single ingredient to the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Teddy Roosevelt. John Rockefeller said, he's one of the richest men that lived in America, I will pay more for the ability to deal with people than any other ability under the sun. Charles Schwab said, I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess. Let me say that one again. I like that one. Charles Schwab said, I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess. Do you arouse enthusiasm among your people? Zig Ziglar said, you can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. John Maxwell said, the happiest people are those who have invested their time in others. The unhappiest people are those who wonder how the world is going to make them happy. I'm telling you, we need to develop people skills. How do I inspire people? How do I cause people to grow? 60% of all management problems can be directly related to poor communication. One of the greatest, maybe I'm going too fast because I know some of you are writing this down. One of the greatest qualities of a leader is to be a listener. Yeah, but I can't talk so good. Yeah, but can you listen? You ever wonder why God gave you one mouth and two ears? So you would listen twice as much as you would speak. I've seen people do a presentation to sponsor somebody, and you know what? Right in the middle of the presentation, the people were ready to sign up, and they kept talking. Talk the people right out of it. You better know when to open your mouth and when to know when to close it. In fact, the less you speak, the faster you'll close the sale. It's interesting. The key to any sale is, can you ask the right questions, number one, and can you keep quiet, number two. We like to ask the questions and keep talking. And when we keep talking, we blow the sale, we blow the prospect, we blow the sponsoring, we blow the motivation because we don't know when to stop. The art of motivating people is not how much you can talk, but it's how much you can listen. Oh, that's different. Why? Because until you listen, you'll never know what to say. Until you listen, you'll never know their hot button. Until you listen, you'll never know the real problem. Until you listen, you'll never know what will it take to edify, encourage, and motivate that individual. And there is no formula. You can't say the same thing to everybody. Why? Because everyone is different, and everyone's going through different situations and problems, and everyone will tell you a different reason that will motivate them. I found out a long time ago the fastest way to motivate people is to ask them specific questions and keep quiet. They will tell you everything you need to inspire them. How about this question? Why did you join this business? They will give you the very thing you need to motivate them, if you can ask that question and keep quiet. Why? Because they'll tell you the desire of their heart. They'll tell you their dream. And then you inspire and motivate them, what? With the same thing they just told you. Can you see that? I mean, this is powerful stuff. I is the least important word in communication. The least. Oh, here's a good one. You'll like this one. Praises and raises are the two most powerful forms of reward. In fact, let me tell you, they did a survey in America, and they tried to find out what is it that people want the most from their work, from their business, from their job. And they expected more money to be on top of that list. But it wasn't. The number one thing people crave more than anything else is recognition. The number one thing. When I was building this network marketing company, of course, the president of the company was a multi-millionaire, billionaire, and he had in a meeting in Hawaii. I remember going to this meeting in Hawaii, and I remember there was about 500 of us, and not one person, the average income of everybody in the room was approximately R1 million a year. That was the leadership meeting. In fact, what was interesting, some people were making 15 and 20 million rand a year sitting in that room. And I wondered, how in the world will the president of the company motivate and inspire these millionaires? How do you inspire someone that's already reached the top, making more money than they can imagine, more than they can spend? How do you do that? I sat back in awe, and I saw this master motivator motivate. You know how he did it? You're going to laugh when I tell you. He got a 20 rand t-shirt, and he wrote on there, President's Choice. And those 500 multimillionaires fought in production for the next 6 months to get a 20 rand t-shirt. They could have bought 100 of them anytime they wanted. But you see, it wasn't the t-shirt. It was to come forward. and to walk across the stage in front of your peers and be recognized as a leader. You say, but how do I do that? My business is so small. Certificates don't cost a lot of money. People want recognition more than they want money, more than they want anything else. In fact, if you're writing some notes, write this one down. People have a neon sign painted on their forehead. And this is what it says. Make me feel special. Make me feel special. Make me feel special. Make me feel different. Make me feel like a winner. Make me feel worthy. Make me feel like I can lead. Make me feel like I can make it. Make me feel special. And I found out that if you make people feel special, they'll hang around you all day. You walk into a room and start to make people feel special, shoo, you get a crowd around you. I remember when I first learned this, I was just getting started in network marketing. And I learned this about learning to make people feel special. I went to this place to get my hair cut. And I don't know what the way the barber shops are and the haircutting places are here, but in America, what you do is you go in there, you make an appointment, you go in there, and before they cut your hair, they wash it. Do they do that here? And you know the hairdresser, I mean, he gets paid too much money to wash your hair, so he's busy, and they have these little trainees, these young people don't know much about nothing, they're just learning, right? And their job is to take you, and they put your head back, and their job is to wash your hair. And I just thought, I'll try this. So I was there waiting for my hair to be washed, and this young lady came up and said, I need to take you over to the back here to wash your hair. And there she was. I had my head back on the sink, and she was putting water and shampoo, and I thought, I'll try this, I'll see what happens. So I said these words. I said, have you been doing this for a long time? And she says, well, I not really. I said, well, you've got a natural talent for this. She said, what? I said, you're really good at this. I said, my head feels so wonderful. It's such a massage you're doing with your fingers. I tell you what, you are gifted in this area. I don't care what anybody says. When you massage my head and put shampoo on it, boy, it makes me feel good. You're really good at this. She massaged my hair for another 20 minutes. It's a true story. Not one person had ever walked into that hairdressing salon. Not one person had ever made her feel special. Not one person had ever said, you're good at this, you can make it. Not one person had appreciated her. I was the first person, so for the next 20 minutes, I had a whole bunch of shampoo on my head. It was like, can we leave now? Can I get my hair cut, please? Every single time I walked into that hairdressing place, that girl greeted me with a big smile, couldn't wait to line up and wash my hair. It had nothing to do with money. It had something to do with words. My friend, words are the most powerful instrument you have. They will either build someone up or tear them down.
Break them down.
In network marketing, you must remember two things. Number one, you are on camera 24 hours a day. Whether you know it or not, your people are watching you. And number two, your words are being remembered. To be a successful motivator, I realized that my words had to edify. They had to encourage. They had to build up. They had to make people feel special. In fact, many times, you're going to have to say words by faith. What do you mean by that? You're going to have to talk to one of your distributors and tell them, you're a great sponsorer. And they haven't sponsored anybody in a year. And they're looking at you like, you're crazy. I haven't done a thing. I know you haven't done a thing. That's because you won't get off your seat. But if you'll get off your seat, you'll be great. If you'll call someone, you'll be great. If you'll talk to somebody, you'll be great. Sometimes you have to say it by faith. But you know what I found out? When you start speaking to someone with words of edification, it builds thoughts and images of success. You may see in them something they haven't seen yet. In fact, I learned a long time ago, one of the greatest abilities is to recognize ability in others and bring it out. And by the way, everyone in your team has an ability. God don't make no junk. Everyone in your team has qualities that are good. Everyone in your team has qualities they need to work on, but they have good ones. Focus on the good. If you have somebody in your team that is absolutely lousy at everything, he's absolutely useless, but he's wearing a nice tie, tell him, that's a nice tie. Because if you always criticize, people will run from you. And if you want to train someone, learn to sandwich criticism with praise, both before and after. Making people feel special. Making people feel special with your words. Appreciation is the deepest principal need of human nature. Appreciation is the deepest principal need of human nature. You know, I found out that if you will build people, people will build your business. If you will build people, people will build your business. Learn to make people feel special. Find out something positive you can say about them and to them. Talk to them about not the way they used to be, not the way they are, but the way they can be. You have in you the potential of a leader. You have in you the potential to build a successful business. Don't allow your words to, in fact, let me just say this to you. Learn from someone that's made all the mistakes. People will not remember the 9 great things you said about them. They'll remember the one time you got ticked off and lost your temper. And you can build them up and build them up and build them up, and one day you can say, you know, you are absolutely lousy at sponsoring. And that's what they'll remember. Don't use words to tear people down. People need inspiration. They don't need criticism. And if there's ways they can do it better, sandwich it with praise. Remember, words create emotion, and thoughts create attitude, which determines altitude. If the same thoughts and those words in you determine your attitude, which determines your altitude, now put yourself on the other side of the desk. The people in your team, they need to have a good attitude so they will attain a great altitude. But how can they have a good attitude? Well, you will feed them words. Become a master communicator. Become a director of motivation. Use your words to paint pictures of how it can be as they build their business, how they can achieve their dreams. And you'll see a great attitude. You'll see more production. you'll see people getting excited. They're not excited about the products, even though the products are good. They're excited about their dreams coming true. But you're the one with your words that'll paint that picture. Treat people right. Make them feel special. Do unto others, come on now, as they would do unto you. Plant the right seeds. Remember names. Remember names. Well, you know, Nasir, I'm sorry. I just got a bad memory. I'm just lousy with names. Stop saying that. That's not going to help you. Remember names. When I got here, I didn't know anybody. And I was told a gentleman was going to come. Charlie told me a gentleman was going to come. And he was going to pick me up and bring me here to the meeting. And he introduced himself as his name was Vessel. Now, I don't know. I mean, that's his name. Now, that's, you know, a great name here in South Africa. Now, in America, you don't find too many people with a name like Vessel. So as soon as I heard the name Vessel, I thought to myself, how can I remember this? A vehicle, a car in America is called a vessel. So every time I look at him, I think about, oh, your name is car. No, not car. Your name is vehicle. No, your name is vessel. But you know what? Every time he calls me to pick me up, how are you doing, Vessel? Thank you for opening the door, Vessel. Are you enjoying the meetings, Vessel? You know what? People love the sound of their own name. So you better make it your business to remember it. Now I can't forget Vessel. I don't know. He's around here working. He's always working. Wonderful servant of God, doing a wonderful job. But make a point. When someone introduces you and says, this is my prospect, this is my friend, this is my new distributor, this is the one I sponsored, remember the name. Find some way to remember it and talk about them. Talk their name many times. If I meet somebody and I've never met them before and they say, I find out their name is Charlie, I'll say, well, Charlie, what did you think of the business? Oh, I think it is wonderful, but I'm not sure about, well, Charlie, what do you think of the products? Well, Charlie, why would you want to join? Charlie, give me your dream. What is it you want in life? Charlie, what would you want to do if money was not a problem? Charlie, what would you do? What kind of car would you drive? Charlie, I've said his name about 200 times. By the time I finished talking to him, I remembered it. And he felt good. And you know what? He'll walk away and say, I don't know about that Nasir guy, but he sure makes me feel good. I like to join him anyway. Huh? Remember people's names. When you say their name, listen to me, when you say their name, you stop being an acquaintance and you start becoming a friend. And let me just say this to you. Learn to make friends and you will build businesses. Why? Friends have no problem joining friends. Learn to make friends. People follow others not for who they are, but for how they make you feel. People follow others not for who they are, but how they make you feel. You can't go around Charlie and Alto without them making you feel special. Smiling, shaking your hand, encouraging you, talking about your business. You hang around those guys and you always feel special, like they look at you. By the way, remember this. This is heavy teaching, but you need to know this. Write this down. This is probably the most. If you don't remember anything else from this morning, remember this. Wherever you are, be there. Wherever you are, be there. If you're on the platform teaching, inspire. If you're talking to somebody one-on-one, look them straight in the eye. It doesn't matter how many people are around you. Let them know you really care for what they're saying to you. Somebody wants to talk to you about, what's happening with the business, and you're kind of, yeah, that's wonderful, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'll talk, yeah. Keep talking, yeah. Oh, sure, I'm listening. Yeah, of course I'm listening. Yeah. No, when they know you don't care, they won't hang around you anymore. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So when you're talking to somebody, focus on them. Give them your attention. Let them know they are important to you. We're talking about being the leader that motivates. All right. Are you building people, or are you building your dream and using people? Ooh. Are you building people, or are you building your dream and using people? Remember, the key, they found this out in church growth in America, and I'm sure this applies all over the world. What causes church growth was one word: relationships. Relationships bring people to church, and relationships keep people in church. As a network marketing company, what can we learn from that? Relationships bring people into your business, and relationships keep people in your business. Learn to build relationships. Learn to listen and find out what fulfills their need, and then speak what fulfills their need. Do you know that helping others to succeed, half of the battle is convincing them they can do it? Sometimes you have to believe in your people before they believe in themselves. You can do it. In fact, how many of you would like to be promoted to another level before this time next year? You would? And then you will be the one that'll get the recognition. Then you'll be the one that'll be paraded. Then you'll be the one that'll be recognized. Well, guess what? That starts now. Well, when I get like Charlie, boy, I'll be great with people. No. If you don't act like it now, don't talk like it now, don't deal with your people like it now, you won't get there. Your promotion starts the moment this conference finishes. That's when it's already begun. That's when it's time for you to prepare. That's when it's time for you to put together what you need to put together. That's when it's time for you to focus on what's important. You know what? I use the word win. How many of you want to win? How do you spell win? W-I-N. Somebody write this down. To win, you have to do three things. W-I-N means this: what's important now. You're going to leave here so inspired, so motivated, so excited. But if that excitement doesn't turn to action, if you don't start calling some people, if you don't start sponsoring, if you don't start inspiring, what I would encourage you to do is go home and get your people together in your house or wherever you can and tell them how great things were. Share with them what you learned here. Get them inspired and motivated. Tell them you're there to help them to build their dream. In fact, you better know the dream of those that are around you. If you don't, how do you stomp on their hot button? You know what a hot button is? That's the reason they joined. Why'd you join? I want to get a better car. Every time things are going bad, you know that car is coming. But if you quit now, it'll never show up. Why'd you join? I want to help my church. And every time they go into trouble and things are not working out, you say, you still want to help your church, don't you? That's their hot button. You stomp all over their hot button and get them excited again. About what? The products? No. The compensation? No. The reason they joined. Are you getting this? I tell you what, we want to accomplish what needs to be accomplished here. I want to wrap up. I've got several things I want to share with you, and then we're going to close. There is two Latin words called carpe diem. Anybody know what carpe diem means? What? Seize the day. Now listen to me. There are some of you in here that are so motivated, so inspired, you're literally going to take your desire and you're going to turn it into discipline, into daily action. There's some of you that have already seen yourself on the stage being promoted to the position that you want this time next year. In fact, some of you, that vision has got a hold of you and will not let you go. Some of you are so inspired that absolutely nothing is going to stop you. Some of you are so inspired that you will be standing up here next year saying, last year I was right there. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew who I was. But I made a decision on that weekend that I was not going to let anything stop me. That I was going to go after it. That I was going to turn my desire into discipline. Some of you are going to put it into action. Some of you are going to write your list of names. Some of you are going to pick up the phone and call people. Some of you are going to set up some meetings. Some of you are going to go after your dream with everything in you. And you're going to stand up here and declare 1 year later, I did it. It changed my life. Some of you are going to seize the moment, seize the day, and say, I will not let another day go by where I don't focus on my dream and I don't work towards it. And some of you will just get excited for about a day, a week, a month, and then you say, you know, it was a great conference. We had a good time. Nothing changed. We just had a good time. My friend, sitting next to you is a winner. Sitting next to you is the person that says, this is no just ordinary conference for me. This is my life. Sitting next to you is the person that says, I'm the one he's talking about, that says, seize the day. I'm the one that's going to be up there on stage. I'm the one that's going to do what it takes. You've been given all the tools. You've been given all the knowledge. But if you don't apply it, if you're not a doer, just a hearer, it won't happen. Sitting next to you is someone with determination that says, you cannot hold me back anymore. Remember what I said. Nothing will stop a made-up mind. Nothing will stop a made-up mind. Before you leave here this morning, you need to make up your mind. This is it. This is where my life changes. This is where I move forward. This is where I take the reins of my destiny, of my business. These people that are talking to me are no different than me. They just had a little more time than I did. But I ain't going to waste one more day. I'm going to seize the moment. Make today the day that you give birth to your next promotion. Keep your priorities right. Keep God first. Keep your family second. And then go ahead and build your business. The reason we need to work hard now is because there's 3 stages to this business. Stage number 1 is called underpaid. Overworked and underpaid. How many of you are at that stage right now? I know it well. I got good news. You're on the right road. Don't get off now. You're working hard and you're underpaid. But you know what? Unless you go through that stage, you'll never get to the second stage. The second stage